Y'all ready to be history?
Get started.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
To the Pro Audio Suite.
These guys are professional. They're motivated.
Thanks to TriBooth, the best vocal booth for home or on-the-road voice recording. And Austrian Audio, making passion heard. Introducing Robert Marshall from Source Elements and Someone Audio Post, Chicago. Darren Robbo Robertson from Voodoo Radio Imaging, Sydney. Tech to the VO Stars, George the Tech Whittam from LA. And me, Andrew Peters, voiceover talent and home studio guy.
Line up, ladies!
Here we go.
And welcome to another Pro Audio Suite. Thanks to TriBooth. Don't forget the code TRIPAP200. That gives you a $200 discount on your TriBooth. And also Austrian Audio, making passion heard. If you want to make your passion heard with a pretty damn good interface, specifically designed for voiceover, we want your feedback. We've been collecting quite a bit of feedback on our website, which is theproaudiosuite.com. There's a survey there that you can take part in. And George, you've been collating.
I have, and we have 128. That's a nice number.
Nice.
Responses, right? That's pretty impressive. We haven't been giving anybody in return for filling this out. Just they've been wanting us to be paying attention to what they think, and we appreciate that. And there's some interesting questions on there, and I think the one that is the most interesting for this discussion probably are, what are features the ultimate audio interface must include? And we've got a bunch of that we pre-filled, right? A bunch of preset answers, and there's a whole bunch of fill in the blanks, and that's where things kind of get interesting.
Do tell.
All right. Well, I'm just going to look through. One, is like must is the, in there must, what must include.
Mm-hmm.
One person wrote a paragraph. Must is a tricky thing. The only must in my book are the two items listed. That would be what it would take to get me to even consider jumping away from the SSL. As much as I like a good software control, I do get leery of software getting broken or simply aging out. It's why I still can't get excited about a Townsend Sphere. So that's the microphone from Universal Audio. So yeah, there's a lot of good thoughts there. And I read through all of these because there's some really good ones. And some of them even sparked an idea of what we really want. But here's one of my more favorite ones. For piss sakes, don't lock in DSP to the interface so you can't use plugins while traveling. I'm talking to you, Apollo. Smiley face. That's one of my favorites.
It's funny, isn't it? It's a love-hate relationship with that stuff, isn't it?
So, in other words, don't use it as a software dongle.
Right. Please do not use this as a software dongle, meaning you can't use said plugin without this hardware. Yeah, don't worry.
Or back in the day, we used to call the M box the M dongle.
Oh, right.
Is that right?
That's right, yeah. For Pro Tools LE.
Because it was the only way you could launch Pro Tools.
Pro Tools LE ran on that, on the M box. Yeah, I mean, this thing, you guys have all heard me say this. This is something I've had in my mind that needs to be made, and I've been thinking about it for over 10 years. But what I've seen more so lately is feature creep that's a result of being able to upgrade firmware, right? And this is such a pro and a con. We just talked about in another episode how Rode does amazing things adding features in after the fact. SSL just added loop back in after the fact. The thing that we don't like in a pro environment is unpredictable, anything unpredictable. We hate that. We don't like firmware updates. We don't like software updates. We don't like things that may change the way the nature of something works. And so we've been trying so hard to make sure that when this thing is created by whoever creates it, that it's going to do everything within. And yeah, we know there's some features that we want that may not be in there, but everything that almost every voice actor could possibly need without ever having to wish, man, I wish they would add this, or, oh man, that firmware update came out. Should I install that? Is that going to be good for me? No, you're never going to have to worry about that. That's the idea, that we've thought of it for you, right? So there's been a lot that's come in. The number one feature request, this should be absolutely no surprise. And it's interesting that it doesn't have 128 votes, actually, is extremely low noise preamps.
Yeah, right.
82% voted for that. So that means there's a chunk of people that are like,
I don't care.
Yeah.
Good
Interesting,
enough.
isn't it?
Yeah.
And not everybody thinks that that's that important. But the thing that surprised me, that I really wanted to have in this unit, that a lot of people didn't vote for are the ability to monitor mix. I would have thought, and maybe people don't know what that actually means, so they didn't check it. But maybe, and that could be it. The terminology could be the problem here.
Are you just talking about the mic versus playback? Just the simple.
Yes. Only 33% wanted that. Only 33%.
That's what I was saying before when we were having a lot of our discussions. Some of these features are things that people, they don't know they need, but they need.
That's right.
About that one button that we talked about.
They know that they can't hear themselves well. They don't know why, and they wish they could hear themselves better. Well, they don't know that what I meant by monitor mixing was a knob that lets you hear yourself better. So if you didn't understand that question, because I worded it weird, if you want a knob on your device that's the more me knob, I want to hear more me and less of them.
Or less of the playback.
Yeah, or less of whatever
is coming out of my computer.
That's the monitor mixing knob. That's what I'm referring to. So fill out the survey again. You can fill it out as many times as you want, folks. You don't have to. We're not gonna spam you twice.
Some people call it a blend.
Yeah.
It can be a monitor blend.
Exactly. Or some even, I think it's sometimes called a zero latency monitor mix or control.
They do call that, yep.
That, by the way, everything about this unit is zero latency, right? There is no latency because everything you're listening to is internal. It's all mixing internally, right? It's all analog.
No firmware.
There's no DSP voodoo going on here. It's going to be absolutely purist in terms of signal. So, yeah. So that was one that was low that I expected to be high, but a lot of people may want.
The other thing is, if like we're looking for surveying voiceover talent, because that's what this is designed for. And basically on our panel, the four of us, I'm the only one. So if there are other voiceover people that want to get their 2 bobs worth in, take the survey and hopefully we'll add the features that you need.
Yeah,
I think we're pretty close.
One of the one-off, field where you can type in whatever you want. Somebody made it very clear, easy to use. I don't have to be a George Whittam to understand how to use it.
Yeah.
That is something somebody mentioned, that is true.
Well,
we want...
And I think we've achieved a lot of that. It's like the balance of still having flexibility, but also not being crazy confusing on how, like not too much flexibility, enough to get various jobs that you would run into as a talent, get them done so you don't have to say no to your client, even though they might be asking for too much, like for you to play back and edit for them. At the same time, you're not looking at too much stuff. You're not looking at something that's repeating itself and makes it, like some people would always say to me, how do you know what this mixer does? And I'm like, you just have to learn what one channel does. And then there's
duplicating
24 of them.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, another
it looks daunting.
It does look daunting, yeah. So, another one is somebody said, some of these features I consider being covered by the DAW or the recording software and not as necessary in the interface, but I would take the recommendation of your expert experience if you have seen them necessary on the job. Then he says, I think most VO actors who may or may not be tech savvy want simplicity, so there are less features to troubleshoot in the event of an issue.
So what podcast did he write that answer to? It certainly wasn't us, if he's trusting us. Who did you steal that from?
I would have a comment for that. I'd have a comment for that.
Yeah.
It's providing the features in a way it's still hard to step in it.
Yeah.
So for example, we've taken the monitoring section and made it so that you can play back, but no matter what you do, even if you even record the people that you're monitoring, you're never going to cause an echo back.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you try. Mm-hmm. I'm sure someone will find a way to do it actually, but we've really tried to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, that's the razor's edge we're walking. We want to give you the features that other devices can provide to you, but do so at your peril, or do so because you have to get it to work, you have to hire me to figure it out, or
to tell you what buttons not to push.
Or what presets you have to load to get it to do this fancy thing, This is sort of the yin to the Apollo's yang. We want to give you the power that an Apollo tends to give people, that feeling of like, I can play back whenever I want. I have great sounding preamps. I can monitor really well. It's great. But without that overhead of like the firmware, the software. Oh, there's a new software. Oh, there's a new software.
Yeah.
I forgot how to use
I
it.
forgot how
What does
to
that
use
button
it.
do?
Or, yeah, exactly. We want to demystify that, really. And so this is what's so important to us. There are some features that I don't know are valid, but I should mention them because a couple people mentioned a couple things. Somebody, more than one person mentioned noise denoising or onboard denoise ability to reduce the room.
Which could be anything from an expander to like that. See, that gets a little bit into our like, give them what they need, but not.
Yes.
If you're in a situation where you're denoising, your situation is kind of
that
wrong.
problem
Well,
out,
yeah,
to be honest.
they said, just to reduce the room noise floor about minus 10 dB, just that little assist would help many personal studios. And it's not wrong.
It's true. I mean, I'm the king of doing podcasts from trains. So
Yeah. All my noise reduction experience comes from doing this podcast with Robert, I just say.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, we thought about that, and honestly, there was no place to put it.
There's no place to put it, and it would take multiple controls to get it to do what we'd want it to really do well, or it would take processing to do it.
Well,
right?
I can think of one place you could put it that would reduce the noise. Bit uncomfortable, but it will work.
Highly insulated there.
Dear.
Ding dong.
Yeah. What a way
I
to
don't know
go.
what else to say. I don't know what else. Do you guys want to say anything else on this?
If you want to have your say, go to the website, theproaudiosuite.com, and right at the very top, you'll see a link that will take you there.
It's all over the front page.
Really throw your vote in, because we're trying to really make something for the community that's going to be unique and what everyone needs that really we don't see in the marketplace right now is an interface that's specifically made for us.
That's right. And everybody who does vote on this, of course, is going to be on the list to know about when the thing is no longer a glimmer in our eye.
Yeah,
But
twinkle, a
moves
little
into
twinkle in the eye.
A twinkle, but becomes something that's tangible, something you can actually buy. So this is a great way to make sure you don't miss out on that news.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant.
Nice.
Well, let's hope we get some good results, and looking forward to this new product.
Vote today, vote often.
Yeah, exactly. And don't cheat. We don't want to recount.
Well, that was fun. Is it over?
The Pro Audio Suite, with thanks to TriBooth and Austrian Audio. Recorded using Source Connect. Edited by Andrew Peters and mixed by Voodoo Radio Imaging, with tech support from George the Tech Whittam. Don't forget to subscribe to the show and join in the conversation on our Facebook group. To leave a comment, suggest a topic, or just say g'day, drop us a note at our website, theproaudiosuite.com.